Captain Jake Morrison, standing by a large viewport in his ready room, watched the approaching alien vessel. It was colossal, nearly 3 times the size of his own, the UES Liberty. Dark metal, edged with razor sharpness, veiled its surface, seemingly weapons in weight. Red lights blinked along its sides, like malevolent eyes. "Captain, they're requesting permission to dock," Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez reported from behind him. Today, the cultural officer's career would be defined. First contact with a life form who chose dialogue over destruction. Jake turned, nodded curtly. "Tell them they may dock at Bay 7. Ensure the honor guard is prepared." He adjusted his uniform, checking his reflection. Today, humanity would meet the Zelani Empire. Everything had to be perfect. 6 months prior, the Zelani had contacted Earth. Their message, succinct and unambiguous, stated they commanded 17 star systems and sought allies. They'd heard of humans and desired a meeting. It wasn't friendly but lacked hostility, more like a business proposal. Amy joined him, heading towards the main conference room. "The translation programs are functioning flawlessly, sir. Understanding should pose no problems. I've also prepared information packets about human culture, basic government and trade data." "What do we know about their culture?" Jake asked, as they walked. Crew members they passed straightened their postures, aware of the vital meeting. "Warriors, sir," Amy replied. "Our analysis indicates they resolve conflicts through military action. They conquered, did not negotiate for, those 17 systems. Their wish to speak with us, however, is a promising sign." Commander Ryan Hayes, Jake's second in command, and a veteran of 20 years, awaited in the conference room's entrance. "The room is ready, Captain," Ryan said. "Security in place, but maintaining the designated distance." "We risk appearing threatening," Jake chuckled. "Ryan, I doubt we could make a threatening impression on these individuals even if we tried. Did you see the ship's size?" The 3 officers entered the conference room. It was the most comfortable space aboard Liberty, boasting a long wooden table and plush chairs. The walls displayed iconic human achievements: the moon landing, the first Martian colony, the space elevators, visible tokens of human advancement. A voice crackled from the communications system. "Contact from the alien vessel, sir. They stand ready to board," Jake replied. "Send them in." His heart pounded. Humanity's future depended on this initial encounter. The door opened. The first alien entered. The creature, 7 feet tall with green scales and a slender, reptilian head, had a pair of vibrant yellow eyes. Ceremonial armor, adorned with intricate symbols, complemented their imposing frame. 2 others followed. They moved with confidence, professional warriors who had never known defeat. Their gazes swept the room, assessing exits, potential weaponry, defensive positions. Even in peace, they thought in terms of conflict. "I am War Commander Thexa of the Zelani Empire," the first alien announced. Their voice, deep and gravelly, translated flawlessly into English. "These are my advisors, Sub-Commander Krell and Tactical Leader Vexner." Jake stepped forward, extending his hand in a human greeting ritual. "I am Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth ship Liberty. This is Lieutenant Amy Rodriguez, my cultural officer, and Commander Ryan Hayes, my second in command. Welcome aboard our ship." The alien hesitated, then grasped his hand, a firm, albeit brief, handshake. Thexa's skin felt surprisingly warm and dry, like sun-baked leather. "Your ship is smaller than anticipated," noted Thexa, once seated around the table. "But the construction appears robust. How many weapons does it carry?" Amy quickly interjected. "The Liberty is primarily an exploration vessel, War Commander. We have defensive systems, but our primary purpose is scientific research and diplomacy." The aliens exchanged glances. Krell spoke in their native tongue, and Vexner emitted a sound that could have been laughter. Jake understood without translation. They found the human approach amusing. "You explore space and ships with few weapons," Thexer remarked. "This seems dangerous. What do you do when faced with hostility?" Ryan stepped in. "We prefer negotiation and trade. We avoid conflict when possible." The aliens exchanged further looks. Jake understood the Zelani's limited comprehension of a species that prioritized non-violent solutions.
"Tell us about your empire,"
Amy prompted, shifting the conversation. Thexer leaned back, visibly pleased. "We are warriors. For 1,000 years we've expanded across the galaxy, bringing order to chaos. We assess a system's defenses. If strong, we negotiate. If weak, we conquer." "The category of humans?" Jake asked. Thexer studied him intently. "That remains to be seen, Captain Morrison. Your species is new to us. You've expanded rapidly, demonstrating potential, but with lightly armed ships and a preference for avoidance. This suggests, well, weakness." Jake felt a spark of irritation, but remained composed. "Perhaps our definitions of strength differ," he responded. "Perhaps," agreed Thexer. The ensuing hour was dedicated to a precise exchange of information. The aliens pressed for details of human military capabilities, while the humans attempted to focus on trade and cultural exchange. The Zelani saw the world primarily in terms of warfare. They valued strength and little else, yet remained non-hostile. Jake realized that this was the Zelani approach to diplomacy, understanding military capacity, not to attack, but to establish mutual respect on a foundation of force. If the Zelani require a demonstration of human capabilities, perhaps a ship tour will prove beneficial. Jake suggested at the meeting's conclusion, "It may help clarify our operating philosophy." Thexer considered the offer. "Yes, useful. We wish to understand human technology and organization." The group exited the conference room. The aliens moved cautiously, their eyes constantly surveying their surroundings. Jake noted their protective formation, a warrior's instinct even on a peaceful tour. "This is our main engineering section," Amy explained, as they entered a large room buzzing with activity. The engineers exchanged a respectful nod. "The warp drive utilizes a contained fusion reactor to manipulate space-time," Amy continued. The aliens visibly studied the machinery. "Efficient technology. How many ships does your species possess?" "The Liberty is one of 50 exploration vessels," Commander Hayes responded. "Earth also has cargo ships, passenger liners, and some military vessels for systemic defense." The aliens exhibited a quiet impression. The tour continued, traversing medical bays and to the recreational areas. The aliens' initial mystification over human emphasis on healing rather than replacement faded as the tour progressed. "Your technology exceeds our initial assessment," Thexer conceded. "Perhaps humans are not as weak as they appear." They entered the recreation room, where crew members relaxed. The Zelani observed with surprising interest and attention. This subtle observation of Earth's people hinted at a deeper plan. The onlookers murmured, occasionally gesturing toward the table. "What transpires there?" Beaksner inquired, directing their gaze. "Oh, that's just a game," Amy replied. "Chess. It's quite popular among the crew during leisure time." The aliens, unfamiliar with such pastimes, typically engaged in combat training or strength competitions. Mental recreation was a foreign concept. They drew closer. At the table, Anson Matt Turner and Petty Officer Kate Sullivan were absorbed, studying a board marked with carved pieces. The board, divided into 64 squares of alternating colors, held 16 pieces of varying shapes. "How does this function?" Thexfer asked. Officer Lisa Park, observing the game, explained. Each piece moved uniquely. The goal was to trap the opponent's king. It demanded planning and strategy. Krell leaned over the board, These are merely carved wood, not real warriors, he observed. Lisa chuckled. Symbolic, quite so. We engage our minds instead of weapons. Players anticipate several moves ahead. For minutes, the aliens witnessed Matt and Kate's moves. Extensive consideration preceded each piece's displacement. The onlookers provided quiet commentary and suggestions. Why so much fascination? Vexner questioned. It's exhilarating, Petty Officer Carlos Martinez explained. These two are exceptional players. Kate has crafted a formidable attack for 15 minutes, but Matt may have anticipated it, positioning his pieces defensively. The aliens were baffled. How could manipulating wooden pieces be a source of enjoyment? How could seasoned warriors find entertainment in a pastime devoid of physical action or real danger? Thexer asked. It's one form of enjoyment among many, Amy responded. Humans engage in sports, games requiring mental acuity, and artistic expressions. Matt finally moved a piece diagonally. Kate pondered the board, then smiled and shook her head. Nice defense, she said. I hadn't anticipated that. You had me worried, Matt replied. The crew discussed the moves, alternative strategies and potential maneuvers. Their engagement mirrored the seriousness of military operations, yet it was for entertainment. How long have they played? Kra asked. About 2 hours, Lisa replied. A remarkable match. Both players are very meticulous. 2 hours, Beekser expressed astonishment. And this is considered entertainment? Yes, Carlos said. Games can continue much longer. I even played one lasting 6 hours. The aliens exchanged perplexed looks. Just a simple board game. Undeterred, Matt offered to teach them, noting the alien curiosity. The white pieces always move first, Matt explained, arranging the pieces on the board. Each piece has its own rules. Pawns advance 1 square, 2 on their first move. Thexer acknowledged, finding the concept straightforward. His people's wargames were significantly more convoluted. Matt continued. Rooks move in straight lines, bishops diagonally. Knights move in an L shape. The queen in any direction, the king 1 square in any. Checkmate, Thexer asked. The king is trapped, Amy explained, and the game ends. The war commander picked up a pawn, examined it, then placed it back. Such simplicity. How can it demand 2 hours of concentration? Let us begin. Matt's opening move, Thexer responded. The game flowed, following basic principles. Yet, as it progressed, Thexer recognized the game's complexity and strategic depth. Each move presented new opportunities and threats. You're surprisingly competent for a newcomer, Kate commented. Most players commit errors. The war commander sweated, despite the room's comfortable temperature. This was markedly different from his people's games, where strength and aggression generally determined the victor. This demanded a different intellect. The crew observed with exhilaration, discussing good moves and missed opportunities. If he captures that bishop, Matt can fork the king, one crew member whispered. Only if the commander doesn't see it coming, retorted another, and blocks with the queen to maintain material parity. A chill ran down Thexfer's spine. Humans casually discussed intricate tactical sequences. Lieutenant Rodriguez approached. Enjoying the game, War Commander? Yes, challenging indeed. The game's duration was becoming clear. Dr. Elena Foster joined the watchers. This is riveting. The discussion centered on Matt's positional advantages and the commander's tactical possibilities. Chief Collins, the engineer, offered a suggestion. H-pawn advance for more protection of the rook. Collins was correct. The game continued. Thexer was learning, yet the loss became imminent. Excellent defense, Matt noted. You anticipated the bishop sacrifice. The war commander hadn't expected it. Matt perceived it as deliberate tactical maneuvering. The humans watched with apparent relish, not malice, appreciating the artful victory. The war commander could sense the palpable unease of Krell and Vexner. His officers, professional warriors versed in military strategy, shared his assessment. These humans weren't merely playing, They were demonstrating strategic thinking that matched, or even surpassed, that of seasoned military commanders. Amusingly, they treated it as casual pastime. "Check," Matt said calmly, moving his queen to attack Thex's king. The war commander, his king under attack with limited escape routes, grappled with the dire implications of each move. The humans at the table waited patiently, offering encouraging words that now held a subtle ominousness. These creatures, known for negotiation and trade, had spent hours showcasing their strategic prowess. Every observer mentally calculated tactical variations with the same casual expertise of professional soldiers. "Can you find the escape?" Matt asked gently. "There's a way out, but it necessitates sacrificing material to break the attack." This sacrifice was a standard concept in combat, yet these humans discussed it as an expected element of their recreational pursuits. What sort of species considered such tactical sacrifice entertainment? 3 hours had passed since the chess game began, with Thex's position deteriorating. What disturbed him more than the inevitable loss was the casual manner in which these humans discussed concepts, challenging his best strategists. "He could try the rook sacrifice on f7, suggested Dr. Foster. "It might give him enough counterplay to draw." "Too risky," Chief Collins countered. "Matt's king is too secure. Better to trade down to an endgame and attempt to draw there." Thexa stared at these two humans, a doctor and engineer, debating complex military tactics as if discussing weather patterns. The rook sacrifice, Foster mentioned, needed 15-move calculations to evaluate its soundness. How did a ship's doctor possess such profound tactical knowledge? "Your crew seems very knowledgeable about strategy," Kell commented to Captain Morrison, who had arrived to witness the game's finale. Jake smiled. "Chess is popular throughout the fleet. Many of our officers play, and we hold ship versus ship tournaments when in port. It helps sharpen minds during long voyages." "Tournaments?" Thexa asked. "Competitions," Amy explained. "Hundreds of players competed, ranking among the best. Some crew members held rankings high enough for professional play on Earth." Thexa's hands trembled. These humans had distilled military-level strategic thought into recreational competitions, ranking officers based on tactical skill. Matt was skillfully improving his peace positions, limiting the war commander's moves. "A classic technique," observed Lisa Park. Matt moved his bishop, revealing a trap set an hour earlier. Every piece was precisely positioned for the final attack. "I don't see it," Thexa admitted. "Watch this." Matt began a sequence of forced moves, dismantling Thexa's defense piece by piece. "Knight takes pawn, check. King moves here. Bishop to d5, attacking the rook and cutting off the king's retreat. Rook moves there. Queen to h5. His king had no escape." The war commander watched in fascination and horror as Matt's final combination materialized. "Checkmate in 6 moves," Matt declared cheerfully. "Great game, war commander. You defended well," he complimented. The humans applauded politely, genuinely impressed by Thexa's valiant resistance. "How long have you been playing this game?" Thexa inquired. "About 15 years, Matt replied, "since I was a child. My father taught me at age 7. 7 years old, human children were learning advanced tactical thought." The thought of Zelani youngsters learning basic combat skills and physical conditioning contrasted sharply. "Do all human children learn such games?" Kra asked. "Most do," replied Kate. "Chess, checkers, board games, card games, puzzle games. Games are a major part of human culture. We have thousands of different types." "Card games?" Biexner asked. Carlos Martinez produced a deck of cards. "Like poker, it's a game of reading opponents, managing risk, and knowing when to bluff. You calculate odds, trying to deduce other players' thoughts. The rules seemed simple, yet the implications were terrifying. Training and deception in the guise of entertainment. Humans play games about deceiving each other, Vexa questioned. It's not really lying, Lisa explained. Tactical misdirection. Part of the fun is outsmarting opponents. Humans had a casual term for military deception and saw it as amusement. How about physical games? Vexa asked, seeking more familiar ground. Oh, we have plenty of those too, Dr. Foster enthused. Football, basketball, soccer, team sports, coordination, opposition strategy, and real-time decision-making. A video of humans engaging in football filled a wall screen. See how the quarterback reads the defense, Foster pointed out. He needs to process information about 11 opponents in seconds and choose the best play from dozens. The defense tries to disguise intentions and confuse him. Battlefield tactics, real-time decision-making under pressure. Entertainment. How many people participate in these games? Krell inquired. Millions, replied Commander Hayes. Professional and amateur leagues, school competitions, neighborhood games. Almost everyone plays some sport. Millions of humans regularly engaged in tactical training. The Zelani Empire held a few thousand elite tactical officers across its many systems. What does Zelani do for recreation? Amy asked, guilelessly. Vexa pondered. Zelani recreation focused on preparing for battle, a stark contrast to human relaxation. So, how does Zelani relax? Matt teased. The realization hit Vexa. Human relaxation encompassed far more intricate strategic thinking than Zelani military training. I believe I understand now, Vexa quietly announced to his officers in their native tongue. These humans are not a peaceful species. They are skillful warriors who conceal warfare as entertainment. Krell nodded grimly. Every human on board had received tactical training from childhood. Vexner stared at the humans with mounting apprehension. If this was their relaxation, what must their military planning be like? The chess game ended, yet the aliens persisted in the recreation room, further probing human diversions. The more they learned, the more disturbed they became. Tell me about these tournaments, Vexa addressed Captain Morrison. It's a matter of explanation, Jake answered cheerily. Every ship has chess players. Meetings result in competitions. Winning brings advancement, regional, sector, and finally the annual fleet-wide championship. How many participants? The last championship boasted over 10,000 entrants. It goes for 6 or 8 hours. The tournament was intense, with players calculating variations hundreds of moves deep. The entire Zelani military command had fewer officers than this single human event. But chess is just one game, Amy added. We also have tournaments for poker, strategy board games, and simulation games, as well as puzzle competitions. Several crew members engaged in multiple events. Dr. Foster overheard their conversation. The wargame simulations, extremely popular with tactical officers, weren't forgotten. Wargames? Vexner queried sharply. Computer simulations, Foster explained, where players command fleets or armies in historical or fictional settings. Astonishingly detailed, they replicate realistic physics, economics, and logistics. Some scenarios stretched for weeks, involving teams managing various campaign facets. A chill snaked through the Zelani. Teams, Chief Collins interjected. The most effective wargames demand coordination between players. One handles fleet movements, another supply lines, still another intelligence and reconnaissance. This, he concluded, fostered teamwork and specialization. The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. Humans had apparently crafted entertainment systems that rigorously trained coordinated military operations. They were practicing combined arms tactics and strategic logistics. Recreational activities, muttered one. How realistic are these simulations? Vexa questioned. Very, Matt replied. Our military actually employs similar programs for training. Some civilian games are based on declassified military simulations. So, entertainment draws upon real military training. The line between play and professional education had vanished. "What about younger humans?" Krell asked. "Do children participate?" Lisa Park chuckled. "Children adore games even more than adults. We have junior chess tournaments, youth sports leagues, educational games that teach mathematics and science through puzzles and challenges." Educational games? Vexner sounded horrified. "Learning through play," Amy elaborated. "Children solved problems, constructed things, and explored virtual worlds, honing critical thinking skills." This, they judged, was the ideal educational approach. The Zelani realized that human children received advanced tactical training from a young age, camouflaged as enjoyment. Every human they'd met demonstrated a lifetime of strategic preparation, a constant mental workout beginning before they could walk. "I'm curious," Dr. Foster said to the aliens. "What do young Zelani do for entertainment?" Thea pondered. "Young warriors," she replied. "Practice combat techniques, weapons training, physical conditioning, and basic military formations. They participate in combat trials to demonstrate their worth." The humans seemed perplexed. "But games, creativity, exploring ideas?" Kate queried. "Actually," Chief Collins mused, "those activities are fundamentally military skills. Problem solving, creativity, strategic planning, all useful in engineering, science, and almost every human endeavor." The war commander grasped a dreadful truth. The Zelani trained their young exclusively for warfare, producing soldiers exceptional at battle, but lacking in other attributes. Humans, conversely, trained their young for everything, capable of applying strategic thinking to any circumstance, including war. A human engineer could analyze tactical issues, a doctor, strategic principles, an artist, creative solutions. Every human was a latent military asset, because their entire culture was founded on mental training disguised as entertainment. "How often do humans participate in these games?" Vexer asked. "Every day," several humans replied in unison. Carlos elaborated further. "Most, if not all of us, play something daily, a quick puzzle, a card game at lunch, or a sport after work. It's how we relax." Constant tactical training for the entire population. The Zelani's elite units didn't drill daily, but every human practiced strategic thinking as a routine. "Work involves games too," Dr. Foster added. "Medical diagnosis is puzzle solving. Engineering is advanced construction. Scientific research, theory testing." The humans had inextricably interwoven strategic thinking, problem solving, and competition into their civilization. Their culture had made mental warfare as natural as breathing. "I need to see more of these games," Vexer pleaded. "Perhaps some human activity transcended military-level strategic thinking." Matt replied enthusiastically. "There's an interesting puzzle game in the next room, three-dimensional logic problems, and a role-playing game in the lounge." "Role-playing?" Kell asked. "Collaborative storytelling," Amy explained, "where players portray heroes in fictional worlds and cooperate to overcome challenges, utilizing creativity, teamwork, and strategic thinking." Even storytelling involved tactical cooperation. They moved to the next room where crew members worked on complex three-dimensional puzzles. In the lounge, they found a group engaged in a role-playing game, discussing tactics for overcoming an enemy's defense. They were solving a complex military problem for fun. "How long have humans played these games?" Thea asked Captain Morrison. Jake replied thoughtfully, "Thousands of years. We have records of strategy games from ancient civilizations, board games, military simulations, competitive sports. It's been part of human culture for millennia. The human species had honed strategic thinking through entertainment for millennia. Each generation refined the games, making them more sophisticated, demanding, and educational. The end result, A civilization where everyone was trained from birth for the mental acuity necessary for warfare, without realizing it. To humans, games were simply fun. They had no idea they were breeding the most tactically adept species in the galaxy. The formal negotiations resumed, but everything had changed. The three Zelani officers sat across from their human counterparts, visibly uneasy. Captain Morrison, Thexfer, began cautiously. "We have learned much about human culture. Perhaps we should discuss relationship terms more carefully." Jake recognized the shift in demeanor. The commander didn't evaluate human ships. Instead, he addressed a peer. "What specific terms did you have in mind, War Commander?" Jake asked. "Mutual defense agreements, trade partnerships, technology exchange," Thea replied rapidly. "The Zelani Empire would be honored to consider humanity as equals." Commander Hayes raised an eyebrow. Just 3 hours prior, the aliens had questioned human military capacity. Now, they offered alliances. "That's very generous," Amy stated diplomatically. "May I ask what changed your assessment?" Kell and Vexner exchanged apprehensive glances. How could they explain that watching humans play games had frightened them more than facing an enemy fleet? "Your species demonstrates unexpected capabilities," Thea said cautiously. "We believe mutual benefits favor alliance over conflict." Jake grasped the turning point. The Zelani, aiming for conquest, had changed their minds. Something fearful had happened. "War Commander," Jake said gently, "were you planning an attack on human space?" An awkward silence followed. Finally, Thexfer responded. "Such plans existed. Standard procedure. But after observing your culture, we've realized such an action to be inadvisable, given your military prowess." Commander Hayes questioned. "Given your population's capabilities," Vexer murmured, "every human demonstrates strategic thinking matching our elite officers. Your children learn these skills before walking. Your entire culture is built around mental training, a program we only apply to our best military units." Dr. Foster joined the conversation. "I'm not sure I follow. Are you referring to our games and sports?" "Yes," Krell confirmed. "What you term entertainment is the most comprehensive tactical training program we've ever encountered. You've weaponized intellectual development and transformed it into recreational activities." The humans looked perplexed. Amy spoke first. "We don't view games as military training. They're fun." That was even worse. Thexer spoke grimly. "You've cultivated a species where strategic thinking is as natural as breathing. You're oblivious to its pervasiveness." Jake began to grasp the broader implications. "War Commander, how unusual are humanity's recreational pursuits?" In 17 conquered systems, Captain Morrison's crew had never encountered a species that engaged in strategic competition for sheer enjoyment. Most civilizations develop military capabilities solely for defense or conquest. Yet, human military thought formed a cultural bedrock, underpinning everything they did. "But we're not a militaristic species," Lisa protested. "We explore space, conduct scientific research, and engage in peaceful trade." Their exploration vessels carried minimal weaponry, as every crew member was a strategic asset. Vexner explained. "Your scientific research involves complex problem-solving, directly applicable to military strategy. Your peaceful trade necessitates negotiation skills akin to diplomatic warfare." The humans started to comprehend the aliens' disquiet. "Are you saying," Jake asked slowly, "that you're afraid of us?" "Terrified," Thea admitted. "Captain, your enlisted personnel defeated me at a previously unfamiliar strategic game. Your crew casually discussed tactics challenging our military doctrines. Your physician analyzed complex battle scenarios as simple puzzles." He leaned forward. We've learned that millions of humans participate regularly in strategic competitions. Their children receive tactical training from early childhood. Their entire educational system revolving around games cultivating militarily relevant skills. And this has been their practice for millennia. Kell added, they continually refine their methods, making each generation more strategically adept than the last. Dr. Foster pondered, I suppose, when you put it that way, human culture does emphasize competitive problem-solving quite a bit. Vexner laughed, a strangled cough. Doctor, your species has inadvertently created the most tactically sophisticated civilization in known space, using warfare training as children's entertainment. The room fell silent as the realization sunk in. Humanity's peaceful exploration culture, to external observers, resembled a supremely advanced military civilization. So, Jake finally said, I presume the Zelani Empire has no designs on human space. Absolutely not, Thexer stated firmly. Captain, we have conquered 17 systems by identifying and exploiting military weaknesses. Humanity has no such weaknesses. There are no military limitations. Every human is a potential strategic officer. Every settlement a tactical planning center. Every child receiving advanced military training. He stood, pacing. How could we conquer a species where supply clerks grasp logistics better than our generals? Where civilian doctors analyze battlefield tactics? Where children solve strategic puzzles for fun? We came here expecting to assess a minor species for potential subjugation, Kell stated. Instead, we discovered a civilization conceivably capable of conquering us effortlessly. We're not interested in conquest, Amy reassured them. We know, Vexner replied, which makes it even more frightening. You've unintentionally developed the most advanced military culture in the galaxy, and you use it for scientific exploration and cultural pursuits. Captain Morrison made his decision. War Commander, the United Earth government is prepared to negotiate mutual defense and trade agreements with the Zelani Empire. We prefer cooperation. Thank you, Captain, Thexer said, visibly relieved. The Empire will designate human space as a protected zone. Any threat to human worlds will face the full might of Zelani military response. As the negotiations concluded, Jake offered a farewell gift. War Commander, please accept this chess set as a symbol of friendship between our peoples. Thea regarded the wooden board and carved pieces with evident apprehension. Thank you, Captain, but perhaps something else would be more suitable. The humans puzzled until Amy realized the problem. The chess set, to the Zelani, wasn't a friendly gift. It was a training manual for advanced tactical warfare, masked as a children's toy. We'll send some books about Earth's history instead, Jake suggested diplomatically. As the alien delegation prepared to depart, Thexer turned. Captain Morrison, may I ask a personal question? Certainly. If humans find strategic games relaxing, what do you do when actual military planning is required? Jake pondered. War Commander, I frankly don't know. Humanity hasn't fought a real war in over a century. We've focused on exploration and development. Thexer nodded slowly. Perhaps that's best for everyone. As the Zelani ship departed, Jake filed his mission report. First contact had exceeded expectations. Humanity had secured a powerful ally and avoided a devastating war. His report omitted the terror in the aliens' eyes as they watched humans play chess. In his private log, Jake wrote, Note to self, research whether recreational activities might appear threatening to other species. Recommend cultural sensitivity training for future first contact missions. Meanwhile, aboard the Zelani ship, War Commander Thexer composed a report for the Empire. Humanity is classified as a Tier 1 strategic threat. Under no circumstances should Zelani forces engage human vessels or worlds. Recommend immediate diplomatic outreach to establish a formal alliance. Human recreational activities demonstrate tactical capabilities exceeding our military training programs. If they consider warfare-level strategic thinking, children's entertainment. Their actual military capabilities are beyond our assessment and countermeasures. The final line of his report would become famous throughout the Zelani Empire. When humans call something a game, we should call it a nightmare.